And we will call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. Good morning. My name is Maricel Hernandez. I'm the chair. And with me via video is Commissioner William Cressy.
Present.
And Commissioner Jonathan Swain.
Present.
The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the agenda. Any proposed changes? If not, we'll proceed with the approval of the regular board meeting minutes of April 13th and April 27th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, could we split that motion since I wasn't here on the latter meeting?
You're right. I'm sorry. Let's go for the minutes of April 13, 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved by Commissioner Swain.
Is there a second?
Second by Commissioner Cressy.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Commissioner Swain votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. We go now to the minutes of the regular board meeting of April 27, 2021. I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Commissioner Cressy seconds.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
I'm sorry, before we do that, Commissioner Swain abstains because he was not here.
Correct.
So Commissioner Cressy votes aye and I vote aye, and the motion passes. Thank you. Next on.
Madam Chair, if I just we're all caught up with the minutes, and I want to thank Trish for all of her hard work in getting all the minutes up to date. So thank you.
Right. Next item on the agenda is the Executive Director's Report. Mr. Holliday.
Morning, Madam Chair and fellow commissioners. On Saturday, I attended the John Lewis Voter Advancement Day motorcade to protect the vote. It was very well attended, and as Mr. Lewis would always state, we were getting into good trouble. So it was a very well attended event. On tomorrow, I'll be attending a webinar on the ranked choice voting benefits for candidates and voters of color. If either your commissioners are interested, I can forward you the link. Training is currently underway with the staff from both districts and boundaries and other divisions for the upcoming remapping project. The new hardware and software will be fully installed by the end of this week. So then we'll just be waiting for everyone else with any data that needs to be used. Sandra is not here today. She's on a well-deserved vacation. I just wanted to let you know that divisions are loaning staff to the warehouse in order to help with some post-election projects. So that will begin soon. So that is the end of my report, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
Charles, you can send me the link to the ranked choice voting.
I sure will, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Likewise, Charles,
You might, I was just going to say, you might as well send it to all three of us.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let's.
Okay.
Let's
see. So now we will proceed with old business.
Madam Chair, is there a report from the Assistant Executive Director?
She's on vacation.
The Assistant Director is
just
on vacation today.
Okay, just wanted that from the record. Thank you.
Okay. We will proceed now with old business, infrastructure projects and changes in election administration and voting equipment. Mr. Holliday, anything new there?
Nothing new there, Madam Chair.
And how about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask about electronic poll books.
Well, at the last board meeting, we did the amendment to the contract. That's part of the one of the projects at the warehouse where they'll be charging and doing the maintenance of the e-poll books.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Swing.
And we will now go to legislation. Mr. Lasker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the federal level, the federal legislation is now kind of delayed in the Senate. Trish just sent me a news report yesterday that points out one thing that's made the recent change that would impact us a little bit. You know, Chicago has for a long time paid for the postage on vote by mail ballots, even though it's not a lawful requirement. The legislature did make that a sort of a requirement for last November under the special legislation that's now repealed. They didn't say that the election authority had to pay, but they did say the election authority had to accept any envelopes that received without postage. The legislation at the federal level was originally going to require that all election authorities include a self-sealing envelope and postage. That would not have been a change for Chicago. However, the Democrats, as the sponsor of the bill, have changed a provision there. They're now calling for that the post office would carry election ballot envelopes at no charge. So it would actually be a savings to the election authorities that the federal government wants to pick up the tab on the postage for vote by mail. So that's one change the Democrats have made to the bill, but it is in the Senate where it's going to be debated for, they're anticipating several days of debate. The news reports are that Senator Mitch McConnell is the Republican leader, is going to personally argue against the bill at a committee, and Senator Reid for the Democrats as the majority leader, as the Democratic leader, is going to also argue in favor of the bill. On the state side, there is a bill that's looking like it might become a bit of an omnibus. It's just got some various matters in it at the moment. It's still in the Senate. It's a Senate bill in the assignments committee, but I've talked with the state board and they're watching it as a possible omnibus bill. At this point, it doesn't have very much that would directly impact our board. Some of it deals with campaign finance matters that are under the jurisdiction of the State Board of Elections. For example, there it would create a brand new fund in the state government treasury called the Elections Special Projects Fund. And all fees and penalties paid to the state board would go into that fund to be used for the ordinary expenses and also contingency expenses of the State Board of Elections. It would expressly prohibit the circulation of a nominating petition in a polling place to clarify, I think, existing laws on the prohibition against, campaigning within 100 feet of the polling place. But again, that bill's not moving anywhere right now. We're just going to keep our eyes on it in case it does become the omnibus bill. There is another bill, a Senate bill, that's been referred back to assignments, but might have some traction. Been watching it in terms of increasing the number of voters in a precinct, which then inherently reduces the number of precincts. The proposal right now is that for a city the size of Chicago with an election commission, we could have up to 1,200 voters in the precinct. Our current limit is 600. So that would be nice for all the reasons we've previously discussed. There's also a Republican-sponsored bill that's been getting some publicity lately. It's as of last Friday, it's been put back into the assignments committee at the Senate, but there is still some talk that it might move forward. Its changes to the election code are actually, several of them are things that our Chicago board is already complying with. Things like certain topics that have to be covered by judge of election training, and we're already training in all those topics. There's also a new 90-day time frame in which to register a new voter upon receipt of applicable data from the National Change of Address database. More specific time frame in which we would conduct our canvass or post-election canvass in odd-numbered years. Things like publishing our vote by mail processing procedures, but our board already publishes those on the board's website. It also proposes that the State Board of Elections would conduct an audit of vote by mail ballots during the post-election period for up to 5% of the election authorities within the state. So we'll keep our eyes on whether that moves anywhere, but essentially no changes for the Chicago board. The last bill, I think, that has any news for today is that, as we discussed at the last meeting, there's now Senate Bill 827 with Senate Amendment 1 would create the elected Chicago School Board, where it would be the Board of Education that would conduct those elections along with its local school council elections. Just wanting you to know that as of Friday of last week, that bill was scheduled for a deadline on third reading in the Senate of May 21st. So it still appears that they're going to have that third reading and probably a vote as late as May 21st. And again, the session is scheduled to end at the end of May, so they'd have to move it through the House pretty quickly. It's my legislative report for today. Welcoming any questions.
Yes, Adam, just to summarize your statement about the Republican backed legislation, it sounds like the Republicans want to bring the rest of the state up to the best practices standards of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Is that correct?
Well, that's one way of looking at it. I don't know if that's the way they're thinking about it, but when you do look through the bill, we are already doing. I mean, the state board isn't auditing our vote by mail, but we would welcome them to come in and do that. You know, and they do send poll watchers sometimes. But again, even though that audit's not happening, our vote by mail procedures are on the website. It's a very open and public procedure. We had the head attorneys from both of the leading political parties came and watched that process for the November election. We're very pleased by it. Personally spoke to me about that. So, you know, we are basically already in compliance with what would become requirements in this.
Well, as I say, it's nice to know that we are, you know, the state of the art and best practices in so many of these areas. Thanks so much, Adam.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We will now proceed with new business, and the first item is the attorney contractor agreement between the Board of Election Commissioners and Joan T. Agnew, attorney at law. And I know Joan has been with us for many, countless years. We have appreciated very highly her services to the board. This is a renewal of the agreement. And it's basically the exact same agreement, except for the new effective date as would be June 1st, 2021 through May 31st, 2022. And in addition, the agreement would add a requirement that we're adding really for all our contractors to execute the board's economic disclosure statement. We have now a board confidentiality and acceptable use agreement, and certain an acknowledgement of the protections and safeguards under the Illinois Human Rights Act for non-board employees. Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion to execute to approve a contract for legal services with Joan T. Agnew at the rate of $250 per hour with a one-year term beginning on June 1st, 2021 and expiring on May 31st, 2022 for services including but not limited to acting as the board's Freedom of Information Officer and Ethics Advisor and other general legal services as directed by the board, its executive director, and its general counsel.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy. And by the way, the garbage truck outside my window is not a reflection on Joan.
Is there a second? I can't hear you.
Second by Commissioner Swain.
Thank you. It's been probably moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Swain votes aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, and thank you, Joan, for all your work, and we look forward to working with you this coming year.
Madam Chair, may I make a quick comment, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I needed to correct Commissioner Cressy because with all due respect to Joan, there are some similarities between a garbage truck and Joan because she really does handle some of the stuff that's less desirable around this place, and she takes the trash and she gets rid of it. I want to point out that as we were preparing for that November election, there were so many changes and so many things happening all at once. And the staff was coming up with great ideas, left, right, all over the place, from Lance to the managers on down. Lots of great ideas for how to create these new systems we were going to use. And Joan, of course, is the one who then steps in and says, okay, but we have to have all the nuts and bolts in place so this thing holds together when we actually take this plan off the ground. And I just want to commend Joan. I appreciate the commissioners very much for another contract with her because she is a tremendous asset to the board. And I do enjoy working with her. even though sometimes she is that trash truck that's getting rid of the stinky stuff.
Well,
Okay,
I'll have to thank my garbage men for their impeccable timing.
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. Okay, and then the next item on the agenda is a proposed agreement with CPU RX for web hosting and related services. And CPU RX has been one of our vendors for quite a while, I believe, that provides the board with web hosting, server monitoring, MS Azure cloud storage and security, and other professional services related to the board's website. Is there anything else Adam or Charles would like to add about this contract?
I would just say that I've heard reports from the IT department that CPU RX's services have been satisfactory. Matthew Lynn, the IT director manager, has reviewed the contract and renegotiated it with CPU RX, and so they're making that request. We appreciate it.
And
Okay.
and nothing further from me, Madam Chair, because like Adam said, the IT manager, Matthew Lynn, has reviewed it and he agrees with the terms of the contract.
Okay. Commissioner Chrissy, did you want to say something? No?
No, I'm just itching my mustache, that's all.
Okay, okay. And the proposed pricing is it really divided into two categories: $990 per month for maintenance support of the software, equipment, and network services specified in the contract, and $945 per month for Microsoft Azure Government Cloud Services, in addition to other services that CPU-RX offers. So at this time, if there are no further comments, is there a motion to execute a one-year contract with CPU-RX for website hosting, network maintenance, and support, Microsoft Azure Government Cloud Services and Security, and other related services, with a one-year term for a total cost of $23,220?
So moved by Commissioner Swain.
Is there a second?
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Swain votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Great, thank you. The motion passes and the agreement is approved. Next item on the agenda is a legal report. Mr. Lasker.
I've recently reported to you commissioners on pending litigation, and happy to take any individual follow-ups. Nothing really new to report beyond that at this time.
Okay.
I do have a question, and forgive me, I was absent last meeting, but Adam, can you just speak one more time to that? I think it was in the minutes, there was a comment, a reference to a case that talked about dual circulation of petitions.
Yeah, there is a provision in Article 10 of the Election Code that says if you have circulated in a primary for a partisan candidate, a Democrat, Republican, Green, or any other established party candidate, you then in the same election cycle for that general election, you're prohibited from circulating for an independent candidate. And so basically in one of these suburban cases that happened, there was someone who circulated for a political party candidate in their February primary, then also circulated for an independent in the April election in that municipality. Electoral board ruled, well, at least the courts affirmed an electoral board decision ruling that that statute is in effect, and that is a valid restriction on petition circulation.
So it's referencing switching parties, not necessarily two separate offices.
Right. It's not about the office, it's about the party, and within one election cycle. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We have no financial report. And the next item is public comment. And Lance, I'd like you to
Yes, Madam Chair.
I'd like you to, make some comments.
Okay, just to let you know, I sent to the staff and to the board members update on S1 for the People's Act, showing that what changes that the Senate Rules Committee are making. it's really interesting that they're listening to election officials and they made these changes. I know Adam, I sent copies of that to Adam and to the other board members, and I'm very, very proud that they're listening to us. There will be another amendment, I found out, which it's unusual for them to make another amendment to the amendment. So there will be another one done within another 2 weeks. So we're trying to get information out to everybody on what the Senate staff is trying to do with S1.
Do we have any idea, Lance, of what the amendment to the amendment will be?
Yeah, it's going to be more with the disability community to give them more of a right. And also, as we know that just recently there was a cyber attack on the US pipeline, and that's hitting critical infrastructure. And as you know, the elections are considered critical infrastructure now.
Right.
And we've found out that they're putting in additional funds for security for election offices. So I just wanted you to be aware of that for cybersecurity. Even though we have our own experts hired, they're giving us additional funds to put in new firewalls and other things. So that's being worked on right now. So it's going to be a big boost to the election community. So I just wanted the board members to be aware of that. And I've been privy to get copies of stuff that's going in before it goes to the Senate, and I'll be sending that to the board members and
Great.
to the staff.
Great, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's important to keep up on that. Is that Trish just checking in with you? Is there any other?
No one else has asked for public comment or other comment?
Okay.
I do have another person dialed in. Could they identify themselves, please? Third caller?
Call-in user number 3. Can you identify yourself?
That person is unable to see that
Yeah.
they're listed
they
as
don't know
calling
their
user
number.
3.
Okay, the last
right,
person.
anyway.
Might not be listening at the moment.
Okay. We
By the
have,
way, thank you, Lance, for keeping us up to date on the changes on that Senate bill. Thank you.
yes, yeah, that's
No
it's
problem.
very important.
As soon as I get it, I'll send it out to everybody.
Thank you. There is no need, as I understand, for executive session today.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct, Madam Chair.
thank you. And so at this point, I believe all our business is done for today. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved by Commissioner Swain.
Is there a second?
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Swain votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it, and we are adjourned. Everyone have a great day and a great week.
Thank you.